the match here. It's going to be Marcus35 versus TurtwigData. And here we go. It's going to be crossbow lightning against giant poison. You know what it's all about. We've talked about these decks enough. Let's jump right into the game as we can. Lightning on the collector. Ice Wizard Giant Push. Need minions for that. It's not going to go through. He's not even going to bother zapping. I think he knows that the Inferno Tower he was just not prepped for. Here it comes. Crossbow, the Ice Wizard will stop players from playing a card in front of it. There it is. Those guards are going to go to waste. Guards to defend the Ice Wizard. Poison on top of the crossbow is going to lock onto the Musketeer. Gets zapped up and now it's onto the tower and it's staying there. But again, poison reduces the damage potential of crossbow by a large margin. Still, 1.4k on the left side. Marcus is being put very, very heavily on the back foot right now. How do you want to play your Elixir Collector? You need to play it to the right, otherwise it will get lightninged. And even if you do play it on the right, Turtwig might want to just lightning it anyways. Nice. Good use of the guards. The shield mechanic, even with the Ice Spirits hit, it still takes 2 swings per guard for the mini P.E.K.K.A. because of the shield mechanic. Good defense by Marcus35. And now he's gotten Turtwig to actually play the Inferno Tower while the Giant is off cycle. It could be Marcus's time to make a push. How will Turtwig defend? Half health on the Inferno Tower. I think he should poison it early to make sure it degenerates the tower health. No, and it's not going to happen. He's actually going to play a second Inferno Tower. He's cycled fast enough. There's a zap, and the Musketeer is doing a ton of damage. He needs to play a second Giant now. And there's a big poison. The defense is very, very good for Turtwig. He did really, really well, but good connection for Marcus35. And he should be able to replicate that. Trying to decide whether he wants the Collector or he wants the Giant. But it seems like Marcus35 is trying to play the slow game here. Giant and Ice Wizard. Oh no, it tagged onto the Giant rather than the Musketeer. There's the zap to stop the charge. Lightning takes down the Musketeer, and that's a big lightning. That is a really, really big lightning. Smart use. Crossbow tags on the left side, does a good amount of damage. Turtwig is doing a really good job of kind of playing the crossbow very tactically. He doesn't need to make big wins off of it, even though he leaves that potential up for grabs. The Giant has the guards leading and will take down the Inferno Tower. Guards get eliminated, and now that mini P.E.K.K.A. is going to go to town on the Giant. So again, good defense by Turtwig. It's very, very difficult for Marcus35 to push past this Inferno Tower. There's going to be another one. Actually tagged onto the Musketeer. And the zap now is going to swap it onto the Giant. But this Musketeer is doing a ton of damage to the Inferno Tower. Again, it all comes down to timing. One guard makes it up to the tower and stabs it once. This could be Marcus35. The longer this push goes on, the less and less effective it's going to be. Marcus35 is going to be losing momentum very, very soon. And I think that's about it. He's out of gas. He actually plays that Musketeer up front to try to keep it alive a bit, but I think that might be a little bit of a mistake. Now Turtwig has the opportunity to play anything he wants, really. Didn't catch the tower with that poison. I think he's trying to catch it in the Inferno Tower drop zone. Good zap. And the lightning's going to take down the Musketeer. But this giant punches through. Mini P.E.K.K.A. gets frozen up by the Ice Spirit. And now there's guards defending the giant. Or rather, defending the Mini P.E.K.K.A. It's very, very difficult for each player to push through. Crossbow is a hard sell for Turtwig right now because he needs to constantly deal with the giants. The giants aren't getting anywhere because the Inferno Tower keeps tagging onto Marcus35's giant. Trying desperately to play that Musketeer in a position where it can pick off the Inferno Tower before it becomes a big deal. But 35 seconds left, and we might actually see a draw right now. Giant pushing across. This is a lot of units on the table right now. Zap. There it is. Actually a well-timed zap. And this Mini P.E.K.K.A. is running free. You got to play guards in front of it. And this actually might be a side effect of Marcus35's deck not running a card like Princess. Musketeer actually gets a shot off. 10 seconds. That giant is actually not going to get anywhere. So it is going to be a draw. It is going to be a draw. I really think Princess is a game-changing card in that situation. Anytime you have to deal with guards, Princess is going to be a very ideal choice because it allows you to do stuff like Princess auto attack and then zap to take down the guards. Something like that, but it's really difficult for Marcus35 to push back the guard defense. So Turtwig and Marcus35 will tie. Let's see if they bash at each other with the same decks, and it looks like that is the case, so they're going to rematch it. We don't see ties very often in the Super Magical Cup. It's interesting because you have poison, and in many ways, 6 minutes of poison is probably actually going to kill your tower. So it's interesting. Maybe Marcus35 is going to adjust a little bit. Double Elixir is a hard sell for many players just because the cycle is so quick. Much like the Inferno Tower was cycling very fast, so is the Giant. They're the same cost. Good zap. Takes down the Inferno Tower, and the guards play just in time to attract the Mini P.E.K.K.A. the wrong direction. Guards on the other side, but the Giant gets 1 or 2 good punches, and look at how much damage the Giant does. One more for the road. 1588 health, and that's a big Giant play for Marcus35. And you can see how different the game looks in normal Elixir phase as opposed to double Elixir phase. And so in many of these pushes, Marcus35 is incentivized to play it early because you can play around that Inferno Tower without fear of having a second one pop up in the middle of your push. Likewise, for Marcus35, he needs to watch out for that crossbow tagged onto your tower. You're going to take a lot of damage from this, buddy. Lightning, is he going to opt to use it? No, he's going to play the Inferno Tower. Takes damage and leaves it. Poison, and this time Marcus35 making the adjustment, making sure he hits that tower alongside the Inferno. And this Giant is actually really healthy. Guards are actually committed in the poison. This could hurt a lot. Mini P.E.K.K.A. in front of the Giant is going to swing that Giant down, but 2 big swings. Marcus35 makes 2 big openings while Turtwig has 1 big crossbow play. Is Collector the option? Here comes the crossbow, and this time the Giant is going to walk in front. It's going to freeze the Giant. Musketeer on the side. It's going to opt to lightning all 3 of them. And Marcus35, I think he would play poison, but I think he wants to use the poison on the tower instead. He will actually end up taking down the crossbow, so he has the opportunity to play the poison on the tower. Let's see if he does it. Giant, guards, Musketeer. Poison is not going to reach. Oh, it actually does reach both. He has a zap for the tower. This is a really, really good push for Marcus35, actually. This is actually a little bit scary. Inferno Tower goes down. Ice Spirit gets taken down before he can freeze. Oh, no, and Turtwig. Oh, no. 7 seconds left, and the tower comes crumbling down. Giant poison for Marcus35. That minor adjustment and also playing at a much faster pace, Marcus35 did not let that game go very far into double elixir phase. And Turtwig just couldn't cycle his Inferno Tower. And one big difference is Turtwig chose to start using his lightning on the giant, and that might have been the hurt. That might have been the really big difference in those two games. Using the lightning on the giant might not have been as effective as he would have liked. Let's see what happens. Turtwig still has one chance to bring it back. He could swap his decks to the bowler deck, and it looks like he will. It looks like he will. So Marcus35 is actually going to be swapping on the Trifecta. This is actually really interesting to me. I have no idea how Trifecta will interact with the bowler. And one might think it might be super effective because the Hog Rider gets pushed back by the bowler, and the Hog Rider will constantly keep trying to jump for the crossbow. It might provide Turtwig the opportunity of controlling a lot of the damage that Marcus35 would like to be putting in. Let's see. Siege's last opportunity to make a big showing in the Super Magical Cup lies on Turtwig's shoulder. That is a tough opening. 3 strikes for the opening Hog Rider plus the Ice Spirit. But now, Marcus35 just committed 5 elixir to do 0 damage to the units. He has a full health bowler coming down the lane. There's a cannon. This is the classic Trifecta method. Okay, I guess we'll just let that bowler go. Let that bowler go. Nothing in Turtwig's deck or hand that convinced him enough that it would be a worth enough elixir investment at that moment. Didn't help his bowler out. Now the Valkyrie, plus maybe a Hog Rider to assist for a big push here. No, Marcus35 is just going to let that go. He's going to get away with just a Collector. Here comes Turtwig's opportunity. He's identified that now is the time. Guards in front. Going to stop the cannon from doing a lot of damage. And now tags onto the tower, and that's going to be good for Turtwig. Zap is available for Marcus35, but he doesn't have a lot of elixir. We'll zap it just a little bit. Poison plus zap reduce the damage that crossbow did by a lot. 600 damage as opposed to 1,000. That's really, really significant in my eyes. Now, is Marcus's next play another Collector? Again, if you go by typical archetype theory crafting, a lot of people who theory craft on competitive Clash Royale say that the Siege archetype is really, really great against Control. Because as Control sits back, Siege can pick away at the tower. But, as it seems right now, Trifecta, which is almost the ideal Control deck, kind of the de facto Control deck that you would, if you wanted to know what Control was, you just look at Trifecta. Seems like it's doing incredibly well. Crossbow gets taken down by the Hog Rider, plus the poison is ticking away at that tower. Again, this is emblematic of Control. Hog Rider pushing the Valkyrie, plus the Ice Spirit in the back. Where's your defense, Turtwig? I'm gonna see if this game is the actual... Did he tap out? Did Turtwig tap out? I think Turtwig just tapped out. I think